In this video, we're going to look at the point-slope form of the equation of a non-vertical line with a slope m that passes through a point, x1, y1. This is a very general form of a line, and it is y minus y1 equals the slope m times x minus x1. This is actually very similar to the slope formula, which is m is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If you multiply both sides of the equation, this equation, by x2 minus x1, this denominator, you end up with x2 minus x1 times m equals y2 minus y1. Well, if your your x2, y2 is just written as x, y, and you flip the sides here, you get this for the equation of the line. Okay, that's essentially where it comes from. So let's practice with this equation of the line. This is a very useful equation, particularly in calculus. So let's find the point-slope form equation of the line with slope 4/5 that goes through the point 2, -3. So this is my x1, y1 right here. And this is my m for my slope. So we just plug it straight into the equation of the line. So you have y minus -3 equals, that's my y minus y1, equals the slope m, 4/5, times the x minus x1 is x minus 2. This x and this y are the variables, so we just want to leave them x and y. And you can simplify here and write it as y plus 3 equals, 4/5, wrote an m on accident there, 4/5 times x minus 2. That is a point-slope form equation of this line. You could solve for b and put it in the slope-intercept form, but it's not necessary in this example. Okay, next we're going to find an equation of the line that contains the points 2, 2 and -1, 1 in the point-slope form. Okay, so first we're going to need the slope m to compute that. So let's compute m first. It would be y2 minus y1 is 1 minus 2 over x2 minus x1 is -1 minus 2. So that's -1 divided by -3, or +1/3. Now we have two choices here. There's actually two ways to write this in point-slope form, because we could use either point. Okay, so if we choose to use the first point for our x1, y1, then our line is going to look like this. Y minus this 2 equals the slope, 1/3, times x minus this 2. So that is a point-slope form version of the line. Or if we use the other point for our x1, y1, we're going to get an answer that looks a little bit different. It would look like y minus 1 equals the slope m, that's y minus this y1, times x minus -1, let's go ahead and write it as x plus 1. Now those are actually both correct answers, and let's do a little bit of work here just to show that they are in fact the same. And we can do that by putting these in slope-intercept form, meaning we need to solve both of these for y. So what I'm going to do is distribute the 1/3. So I'll have 1/3 x minus 1/3 times 2 is -2/3. Then I'm going to add 2 to both sides to get y equals 1/3 x. We'll have -2/3 plus 2. Okay, so 2 minus 2/3 is 4/3. So positive 4/3 there. If you weren't sure how to do that in your head, you can do negative 2/3 plus 6/3. 2 is equal to 6/3. So negative 2/3 plus 6/3, those numerators, negative 2 plus 6 is 4. And over here, let's do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 1/3 out to get 1/3 x plus 1/3 times 1. And I'm going to go ahead and put the plus 1 over here on the right. And as you can see, 1/3 plus 1 is 4/3. So they are the same here. So they look different, these equations look different, but they both represent the same line. And that's it for this section on point, slope, form, equation of a line.